Hello, I am Lone Ironman and this is Eve Ironman. My challenge is to complete Eve without any help. I will earn ISK, build giant projects, and kill, starting with only the rookie ship. My goal? To build and kill one of every ship. The rules? No trade, no project discovery, no air programs, no career agents, no using of structures that I don't have one copy of. If I want to moon mine, I must build an athanor with the modules and have it in storage. No alts, no real money bonuses, skill point bonuses, or daily login bonuses. I am allowed Omega. No fleet operations in which I can gain anything. PvP fleets will be allowed so long as I do not loot or earn in any way. All other rules will be in the spirit of the challenge, and any breaking of the rules will mean an instant game over and biomassing. Join me on this journey as I seek to build my Ironman empire. I am choosing to go Galente to start because of the power of the rookie ship. Not only does it have the largest cargo hold, but it also is the only ship capable of flying true drones at the beginning. I chose to go drones due to the versatility of them and the fact that there's no charge restock. It saves me on early resources because I don't have to build ammo for a gun. The option for Amar was also on the cards, but I felt like the larger cargo hold would help me through the super early game before I get my first frigate. I'm randomizing my character a few times just to get something I was sort of okay with. Just wanted to get it out of the way. I'm choosing to skip the tutorial because it has a lot of mandatory skills and free ships that I don't want, and I want to keep the purity of the challenge in the sense that I feel like if they start me with a rookie ship and a venture, then there's going to be no what's the point? Because I've not really actually done anything myself. I realised I had a booster here, but I just trashed it or redeemed it on another character. Basically, I will be not taking any of these, as I said in the intro. The early skills are important, as most of my damage will be coming from drones for quite a while, so I choose to go into that, and I get a few points in Surgical Strike because the super early game will be done with before I can get my first drone. I'll need at least some gun damage to kill a rat. So I spent a while looking around for a home. I was specifically at this time looking for closeness to low-sec, nulsec, and mission agents, and I wanted to get out the air starting location as soon as I could because the amount of tutorial business clogs up the system, and there's lots of new people flying around, and I wanted to get to somewhere rather quiet. On my way to my new location, which I just haphazardly chose, I realized I had to go through some low-sec systems, and when I saw they were quiet, because I was doing this just after downtime, I chose to do some low-sec mining because I didn't really have a goal at that point. So what I did is I rushed through the high sec to the low sec and set one of the stations in the system as my home station. I then pulled a miner off one of the rookie ships, trashed it, got a new one, so I now had a rookie ship with 2 miners, and I set to work on some jaspit. I did this for quite a while, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, until there was enough activity in the system for me to back out because I still needed to actually get the assets into high sec again, so I didn't want to draw too much attention to myself. I also worked out if I orbited enough, fast enough, I could dodge the damage from the cruiser and up enemies. So the actual safest place for me to be mining was a ratting belt with 2 cruisers and a battleship. Anything smaller and I just took too much damage. You'll notice me descanning almost constantly, and I think this is the most important thing about staying alive. And I didn't have any problems because I saw a few jackdaws flying through, so I just docked up and then continued when they left. I chose to get Ombra as well as Jasper because I looked at some of the blueprints that I needed, and I needed Noxium and Isogen, so I got a mixture of the both. Having done that mining, I had a second to think, and I decided that maybe living in this I didn't realize it at the time, but the place I had chosen was actually a high sec pocket, and I thought that would be a risky decision because I'd have to get blueprints through the low sec when I wanted to build stuff in there. Even though I was close to low sec, the options weren't fantastic for like future building. So what I finally chose to do was look for a new location, one that can provide a chip, which allows me to make um, Navy issue ships. So I chose Roden shipyards. I went through and had a look for their level 4 locations, just a habit. I like living in places where there's a level 4 mission for much later on. And I found one that also happened to have a level 1 distribution mission in it as well, which is very important for early game money making. So I chose this place. It's called Junseret or something like that. I'm sure I'll learn how to pronounce it. And I set off there. On the way there, I had a fiddle with my skills and decided that industry is something that I need to do, essentially. I looked into it. Stuff like mass production requires industry 3. There's a lot of like good stuff that can come out of having a high industry level. And I also set up a long-term training queue just in case I had to take a few days off. Then when I come back, those would be done. So those skills I chose were drones 4 and drones 5. As explained earlier, drones are my main form of damage, and drones 5 is the best skill in the game, in my opinion. So that's what I did.
Warp drive active.
Arriving in the place I now call home, I chose to scan, have a look around the system a bit. I noticed that there were a few Tataras, or the bigger athanors around, which kind of shows that there's stuff going on here, which means other people think it's a good system as well. So that's social proof that I think I chose a good location. Of course, I'm not going to be able to interact with those structures, but it doesn't matter too much. I'm going to dock up now and have a look at the distribution missions. I'm going to start making some money because I essentially have less than 3,000 ISK to do things with. So I'm going to start the Velator level 1 distribution missions, which is going to be my main form of making money for at least a day. And let's see how much money we can make. So I'm going to quickly skip to the end of that mission because I had to do like 3 runs because I haven't got any extended cargo holds or anything quite yet. So that mission gave me about 84k, and at this point I decided to give a try at killing a rat because I think that's a fun thing to do. Now I'm at the bottom of the barrel. I should just try and kill something just to get a kill on the board. I've got a distribution mission. I've got some more. Let's try and get a kill. So I'm just skipped to where I found a rat because it took me a few belts, and this isn't my finest hour. There was 3 or 4 frigate rats, and unfortunately they bested me in the field of combat. So it was back to the drawing board for me, and I think it was time to look into hobgoblins, which will increase my damage by an awful lot. So let's have a look at the blueprint and see what there is. So the hobgoblin turns out to be 250k, which is quite a lot for me at this point, and a few minerals which shouldn't be too hard to find since we did that low sec mining earlier. So let's start distribution missions to get that hobgoblin blueprint. So I'm just going to speed this up because obviously I don't want to show you 30 minutes of me grinding my head against a distribution mission agent. So I hope that you guys don't mind that there's a lot of sped up stuff through this video, but there's a lot of progression condensed into quite a short amount of time. So I thought I'd for the beginning I'll time lapse the stuff so you can see the process, but later on I'll probably put less and less of it in. So here's one for the history books. During this distribution mission, 2 rookie rats spawned, and they are the bottom of the barrel when it comes to rats you can get with only a 3k bounty, and I killed them with 1 Gatling gun, civilian Gatling gun, so I'm very proud to announce my first ever rat kill, and they'd actually dropped some pretty decent loot. Like, I probably couldn't have asked for much more than what they gave, so fantastic just to get a kill on the board. You know, I've done a lot of cool things now, I think, just in a rookie ship. So after doing a few more missions, finishing the mining and stuff, I decided that doing this stuff in 2 trips was getting a bit annoying, and some missions I'm still going to have to do in 2 trips, but with 2 cargo hold extender ones, it cuts down the trips by I'd say at least in half. So I decided to invest in my first industry job, which is a pair of cargo hold extenders. I pick up the blueprint for pretty cheap, and I just have the minerals lying around. So I think this was a really good investment, and it saves me a lot of time for the future of my distribution missions, which will be taking quite a bit of time. So that's it. I had 250k, and I bought a hobgoblin blueprint. I had to travel to get it, so that's why I cut a bit out. But I have picked it up, and I put it in, and I realised I don't have enough trit, so I'm condensing a mining montage very quickly. And then I start the job, and this is it. The damage is increasing, and everything's looking pretty good. So let's wait for this hobgoblin to be done, I suppose. So now the hobgoblin's done, I am going out to look for some rats, and where better place than asteroid belts. So I find my first set of rats, and I clear every single belt, picking up everything there is. The rats don't particularly drop impressive stuff, just a lot of metal scraps and ammo, which is pretty good. But I do pick up a thorium blaster, which is increasing my damage again, so if I need to break a DPS barrier, I can do that. And I get a micro warp at some point later on, so the killing rats is good, and it saves me from having to buy a blueprint, build it. So if a micro warp drive drops, that saves me at least 100k, which is a lot early on, and it speeds my missions up. So I do a bit of ratting, I clear every single bout in the system, and then I move back to distributions. So at this stage, I do have to warp out occasionally when the rats are harder, but it's alright. So with that, it pretty much ends the first day. I will probably end it here because I think this is a good amount of content for this amount of time, and I'm trying to keep it snappy even though I'm doing a lot of stuff. So at the end of the day, this is what I've got going. I have how many skill points? I have 950k skill points. I've done this amount. I've done these skills. Good amount of loyalty points. Good amount of money in and out. So it's pretty good. I did a lot of mining and ancient stuff off camera. Sorry, because it was really long. Like I have videos of me doing distributions for 30 minutes, and I don't want to time lapse all of them and just waste time. So this is my inventory at the end. It's all good. Like the first day was absolutely fantastic. I'm really enjoying the difficulty, and I'm surprised at how strong the Velotor is for what it does. It's really powerful. I like the 222 slots, and using stuff that I'm picking up off the ground essentially feels really, really good.